Welcome to Dream Chaser TV. I'm your host, Mira. On today's show, we have Mind Evolution. Some folks owed her retribution, thought she was the cause, found out she's the solution. She's not a superwoman, she's a superwoman. So, Mind Evolution.
Even though they booed me at the Apollo, I'll remain a tough act to follow. People fear me cause my heart's not hollow. Words come heavy like a big pill to swallow. I'm the original music to your sample. A finished product to your example. A professional, you're an amateur. This is no competition. I'm a dream come true for what you've been wishing. I flow in addition to being on stage. You're still at the audition fishing for praise. I'm your professor who has the grades. Watch what you say. Things always get back to me. Like when you was in the streets trying to act like me. Talking about how you could rap like me. Silly rabbit, this is soapbox poetry. Not a clown with a beat. Contrary to what you believe, I don't lead an easy life. I maintain while trying not to complain, but even at that I fail most times. I bleed what I write, whether you like it or not. I have a need to make things right, so I apologize too much. Don't take my kindness as your crutch, cause I'm a beast when it's a must. I love perfection but fall short as we all do. Try not to judge, but even I've been guilty of gossip with my crew. Jealousy has seen my door from both sides, and there are people I pray for that I absolutely despise. I don't compromise well, some would call me a brat, but I grew up in church, so I rebuke that. I have baby daddy drama and problems with my own father. Sometimes I give up when I should try harder. I'm smarter than I look, and like a book, don't judge me by my cover. I've never covered my birthmark cause I never felt the need. But that doesn't mean at times I don't wish this weren't me. I love on a different degree, would take laughter over any bling. I'm silly, love life, and know all my bumps are necessary. New roads are scary, so I proceed with caution. And just like Wheezy, sometimes I feel like a Martian. Marching to my own beat, I'm courage in the face of defeat. Powerful black woman capable of anything.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. You gonna say nice to meet me?
No, I was.
You guys know, just for the audience out there, if you don't know, for a few years, Mind Evolution, Tracy Caldwell and I, Tracy Ann Caldwell and I, it's such a middle name. I like to call you that though. Tracy Caldwell and I were a dynamic duo of sorts.
We were.
Many called us Mira and Mind Evolution. A very few called us Mind Evolution and Mira, but we were a team, and we're still a team. Just to clear all the records up.
There's no love lost.
There's never going to be any love lost. This is my sister.
We go back.
Mother, you know, that doesn't really rhyme, but you know, ultimately she's somebody that I really admire, and I'm happy to have on the show today. I know that she's doing a lot of big things, and I want to just be able to share that with the audience. So I just want to jump right in.
Alright.
What is the latest project that you're working on? Tell everybody what's going on.
Okay. Well, February 23rd, I will be in the Vagina Monologues at CCSU. It's a free show. I am currently and continuously the assistant director for Wide Open. You might have heard of it.
Yes.
And you know, I do shows everywhere. I just did Hot Chocolate Soul Friday. I'll be there in May because he's only doing 4 this month. And wherever they ask me to do poetry, that's where I'm at. So hit me up. So
it sounds like you've made a transition though. First it was mostly spoken word, now you're doing some acting. So how did spoken word prepare you for your acting that you're doing?
Well, because you have to be ready for stage, you know, and like to be able to deliver words in front of a bunch of people staring at you and they're waiting to be entertained. So doing poetry gives you that voice, you know, and performance poetry, you have to be able to engage the crowd. Acting has actually made me a better poet. Okay. Yeah, because, you know, I'm not really animated, but I've learned how to incorporate some movement. I don't do a lot, but, you know, it helps.
So what was the first acting role that you took on?
For Color Girls Who've Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough, I played Red. And we did that in September, but that's not the first time I did that play. I did the play about 5 years ago in Waterbury.
Were you Red then too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I saw the play I think 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, one of them I was actually in the audience, just paid ticket. The other 2 times I just like kind of snuck in at the door. You know, people know me.
Yeah.
So, but I was very impressed by the entire cast. I mean, I really you know, just loved it. And I mean, the fact that there were a number of spoken word artists from this community that were in it, just to see that other side of them being able to do acting, I just thought that was wonderful. So tell us about what you do on Wide Open, because we had the great Sherelle Renee here a few weeks ago.
Isn't she interesting?
Oh, phenomenal, phenomenal. I saw that play too, but tell us.
How many times did you see that show?
I only saw that one once.
Okay.
Now, but I hear it's gonna come back, and I will be there in the VIP.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's how I get down.
I know.
All right,
You're
so yeah.
So I'm the assistant director, but that's like just a title they've given me. I kind of do everything. I help with the, you know, the casting calls when I can. You may have noticed my daughter was in the last one. Right. She did audition. Okay. And just so you know, she didn't get in for free. The little one.
Najari,
yes, the kid.
Yeah, I like that kid.
I do kind of like stage management in the back. I make sure, you know, when the set comes off that they're not blocking things so we don't hurt anyone. And you know, we kind of like coordinate all that. I move furniture. Oh my gosh, you name it, I do it. It's really no limit. I'm very invested in that because I believe in the project. So whatever she needs me to do, I do.
So it's like one of those things where you got the title, but in reality, you have to do every position. So the higher title you get until you get the big bucks is really about making it happen, making the show happen. Yeah. And let me ask you this: for someone that is a star in her own right, to help somebody else kind of reach their star, how is that?
It was a little difficult at first because, you know, I'm used to people coming up to me and saying, oh, great job, great job. But people don't really know who you are when you're behind the scenes. Right. So, you know, I mean, I get to walk out with the cast at the end and take my bow, but no one really thinks, you know, like, who the heck is she? The first show I performed for the intermission, so I kind of was able to get that. But the second time it was different, but I still enjoyed it because it's like watching your kids, you know, kind of grow up and do their things. I was sitting in my living room with her when she told me, you know, I have this idea for this play and this is how I want to do it. So to see it actually take place on stage and to know that I was a part of that, I was very proud, very, very proud.
So what role does Najari play in the
She is young Sherelle. So there's a scene called Becoming Woman, and Sherelle does this poem, and a little girl comes out when it's supposed to be her when she was 7. So that's what Najari does, and she imitates the same movements. And then there's another little girl who comes out as a teenager. Okay. So Najari plays young Sherelle.
Right. Now, one of the things I want to do just for the viewing audience is kind of have you take us through your journey. I mean, to get to this point where you're, you know, executive producer or assistant director, you're a well-known spoken word artist, you've been all over the United States performing. Didn't just happen overnight, I'm sure. No. It wasn't like you just woke up one morning and people were just saying, hey, come do this show. No. You know, so how do you get to that point? Take us all the way back when you decided that you wanted to be a spoken word artist, and tell us how you got to this point.
Okay, well, it started at 13 on a dare. I was riding the bus to school and somebody said that I couldn't write a poem. So I wrote the poem. It wasn't great, you know, but I did it. And then at the time in high school, I was dating a guy who was a rapper. And then, you know, life went on and we used to compare rhymes basically. And then fast forward to my 20s, I dated another guy who was a rapper. And I used to kind of like help him like with his catchphrases, I guess, because some of them were a little weak, but you know. So then I was like, well, I mean, if I could do that, I could write something. So this was when the online boom happened. So I was doing a lot of poetry online, and then Signatures came into my life, which was a bar downtown, and they did the Junction every Thursday. There was an open mic, so I was there every week, and that's where a lot of the older poets that are around now started out, like Lockdown or Now. To name a few, there's a lot of people, but I started doing that, and that's where I gained my confidence to be on stage, because I'm a really shy person. A lot of people don't think so, but I'm very shy, and you know, to be able to stand in front of people and speak was nerve-wracking. Right. So to hold the paper and be standing there shaking, that's where I started to learn memorization, because then no one knows that you're shaking. Right. So started doing that, and then I kind of took a break because Signatures closed down, and then the Belanians started doing their thing down at Vibe. So I was going there, just a regular at open mic. And Anne Marie Williams is a good friend of June Archer's, and she's a family member. You know, she's my kid's aunt. So she said, "Oh, you got to get on this show. I'm gonna talk to June and get you on." So that was my hookup to Hot Chocolate Soul. And
so let me interject there, because I remember the first time I did Hot Chocolate Soul, and I remember being a spoken word artist and really believing that that was like, you know, that's it, man. That's like the Apollo for Connecticut,
it
right?
is, yeah.
And so tell me what that was like, getting on Hot Chocolate. I mean, you've been there pretty consistently for a long time, so what was that like when you first started?
It was scary. I was told, I remember going, because they used to have a little artist meeting, and I remember being in the meeting, and they were like, "Look, you didn't even audition, so you better bring it." And I was just like, "Oh my God." You know, so I went home and I practiced, and I remember going up on stage, doing the poem like, and then I went to sit down. I didn't even look up, but I was told that I got a standing ovation the first time, which shocked me because I was scared, and I felt like, you know, I was good enough, you know, like you said, that is a big stage. The Bushnell, there's 250 people on a good night there, you know, or more. So I was very intimidated, but that kind of helped me too, you know, to be able to work a crowd.
So in your whole, you know, growth as a poet, work that you've done, what would you say is the most like the most exciting moment that you've experienced thus far?
Hot Chocolate Soul in California. We went to San Diego in July, and well, June has a connect out there, and they were taping for a TV series, and he invited myself and a couple other poets and some singers, and we performed that anthology, and it was like, I mean, to fly out to California to perform, number one, was like, oh my God, you know, but like just to be out there, the stage is beautiful. They had a big screen behind us, so you know, it's just, it was like a dream come true for me. It was like, that's the biggest thing I've done, is to go to the other side of the state, I mean of the country, and perform, and people loved it, you know. They bought our CD.
They bought our CD. So okay, so where do you go from here? You know, you started off with signatures, you're going to California to perform, you're helping out with plays. Where do you see yourself going in the future? Oh
wow, I mean, I want to be able to go to Africa and people know me, you know, and not because of me, but because of my words. You know, if no one ever knows who I am, that's fine, as long as they know my words. So I'll write for whoever.
So if I were to ask you, what Never Stop Dreaming meant to you, what would you say to the people out in TV land?
Even when people tell you that you can't do it, because plenty of people told me that I would never be able to be the poet that I am now because I didn't conform to certain things and I didn't perform a certain way. Don't listen to it. If you believe that you can do it, you can do it. It's possible as long as you believe it. That's Never Stop Dreaming. And there's no limitations. There's none.
That's true.
It's limitless.
Just some wrap-up questions, you know, getting towards the end, but I'm sure there's a young lady out there. Maybe she's 13, and maybe she's thinking about being a poet. Maybe she's seen you. You know, we used to go to schools and all that kind of stuff. What would you say to them? Like, what if you were able to look right into the camera and talk to, you know, some young girls out there that are, you know, whatever they're going through, and they want to be like you when they get older? What would you say to them, and how would they get to that point?
I would say every morning you wake up, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful and that you're worth it. Because if you don't believe that, no one else will. I'll tell you that it's very important to have confidence and strength and understanding of self. Because once you have that, no one can tell you anything contrary. So believe in yourself and don't look for validation from a man or from society, because you won't get it. But believe in yourself. And if you need to call me, call me.
Okay, so we're gonna make sure we give out her phone number then, because you know Mind Evolution is known to, you know, give out her phone number. When she had her first CD, it was a 5-minute CD for those that
it was 15 minutes.
Oh my bad, 15
Thank
minutes.
You.
And it had her like her phone number on it. And
it did.
It was crazy.
But you were very influential as well in my poetry career, just so you know that. I mean, this dude came up to me at Annie Fisher, right? And was like, yo, I want to do a show with you. Never happened, but that's okay. He took my poem. I don't know what he did with it. He took my poem. He was like, I'm gonna, you know, proofread this, I guess. But because of you, I've gotten a lot of exposure because of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
In the video.